Well, you can pile up the bodies in Rainbow Six. Destin's here in spirit. But not for a while.
No, a little bit of a delay.
Rainbow Six Siege was due to come out October 13th, right in the thick of the holiday madness, which is, it's like, hey, big game, staking your claim. All right, October 13th, that's, boom, we're going to beat Halo to the punch. We're going to beat Battlefront to the punch.
Beat Call of Duty.
Beat Call of Duty to the punch. Not anymore.
Yep.
They've delayed Ubisoft, not they. Ubisoft has delayed Rainbow Six Siege about 6 weeks till December 1st.
Interesting, yeah.
Which is, of course, post-Black Friday, traditionally not a good thing for your game.
Same day as Just Cause 3.
Which is the other, that and Hitman. We got a few this year.
I think Hitman's the next week.
Yeah, but we got a lot of games in December. Yeah.
December, post-Black Friday.
Yeah.
So, first of all, I just want to say I completely applaud this, to your point earlier, Marty.
Totally.
For them, they're taking the time. I'm going to read you their statement in a second, but before I get to the good stuff, I just want to say, sales-wise, I don't care ultimately, but because it's not my money. But it seems like sales suicide. This is
100% agree.
Far Cry 3 is the one everybody always says. Well, Far Cry 3 is one.
Yeah.
One exception.
Yeah.
So
People seem to forget that the 2008 Prince of Persia game that released in December was the final nail in the coffin for that franchise.
You could argue the whole music genre, but Guitar Hero, I believe it was Van Halen, came out in by then, and that tanked. And December there is an exception to that rule, and until more games come along, it's still just an exception to what is a rule, which is don't ship your game after Black Friday.
Yeah.
But at the same time, love that they're doing the right thing by the game instead of shipping a broken mess would just be miserable for all
Ubisoft
players.
knows. I mean, last year with Unity, they took a lot of shots on the jaw for releasing a game a couple weeks before they should have.
And the other part that makes this, just besides the blanket statement of don't ship it after Black Friday, you are now shipping Rainbow Six Siege, a major fall first-person shooter, after every single other major shooter, which includes the Destiny expansion, Taken King, which is going to be huge, Black Ops 3, Halo 5, Battlefront.
Yep.
And probably one or two other shooters I'm forgetting.
Yeah, I mean, you do not, this fall, you do not want to be last across the finish line in a year that full of shooters that are already looking really good.
There are only so many shooter dollars to go around. Do you really think that, I mean, I'm a huge first-person shooter fan, but if I want to buy 3 of those, I've probably bought 3 before December, before Rainbow comes out. So that's tough. I mean, they do have their beta coming in September, so maybe that's sort of their strategy of, okay, well, we'll get the beta out there and try and convince people to wait and buy our game if you have a limited budget.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, their motives are solid. I applaud them for doing the right thing by the game. This is their statement. Quote, "This wasn't an easy decision, but based on the feedback we've received and based on our own internal tests, we felt there are adjustments and improvements we can make, including improving the co-op experience across all game modes, weapon and gadget balancing, as well as menu and interface navigation. We're taking a little more time to make these changes, and we think it's the right call." So that's a substantial list. It sounds like they must have had a major meeting with all the leads.
Yeah.
I'm sure they do those every week, if not every day at this point of the project. And they probably just said, we can't do it. And then they had to call Yves Guillemot and go like, are we all fired? And he's like, no problem.
Was that French?
I gave up on it halfway through. I was like,
I wasn't sure, because no problem is a really quick phrase that I don't know if you put an accent on it. One of the, I mean, part of this too, I imagine, we know from the last 2 years of this generation is a lot of games launch with online problems.
Yeah.
And this game is online. So looking at stuff like Drive Club and looking at stuff like Halo and this is tough. People are still wrapping their heads around how to do this.
A rock and a hard place situation. If they come out and they launch and it's broken or problematic or buggy, then they're doomed.
Especially because this is sort of like rebooting the franchise.
Yeah, this is the one, right? Rainbow Six rides on the success of Siege. And if you delay it to December after everything, you're potentially dooming the quarter. For your investors, this could be really, really bad for them.
Yeah.
Well, I will say Ubisoft's never been afraid to move things out of fiscal quarters.
Or just delay things in general.
Yeah, despite the fact that their shareholders don't like that.
Yeah, totally.
But they've never been afraid to be like, nope, sorry, this going to a different quarter. Yeah. Division, exactly what I was going to say. But yeah, because that's a lot of the tweets I've been getting in reply to this are, why don't they just push it to Q1 of 2016? Which, to be fair, is a busy quarter.
Oh, yeah.
But the December has just, again, historically been a time you don't want to do this. Unless maybe they're thinking, well, we'll get it out in December and hopefully it's pretty polished. But if it's not, then we can kind of fix it over the holidays and then try to make some sort of new push.
Do a second push in January.
In the new year. But so yeah, if
we've all liked everything we've played so far.
Big time.
I love 2014 E3.
The alpha was impressive and obviously needed work, which is why they did it so early.
Yeah, I played the Tarot Hunt mode at Comic-Con. It was super fun.
E3.
Don't call it that.
I played it at E3.
Oh, I can't say Comic-Con.
No,
I played it. Oh yeah, it was
Terrace
E3.
Hunt was
Yeah.
E3. Yeah.
I really hate the name Tarot Hunt.
I thought you hated the word Comic-Con, and I'm like, what the hell do I call it?
Yeah, they apparently don't want to call. They don't. I guess they changed it because they don't want to use the word terrorist.
That's what I figured.
So, but yeah,
Tarot.
The one other point to make about this, kind of like the real ultimate point we come to, much like with the Halo thing a minute ago about are there going to be any maps with Halo? With this, it's got to be right. You started on this, Mitch, but this game's got to be right because I don't want to wait another 7 years for Rainbow Six.
Seriously,
it's been 7 years since Vegas.
So something else that I think a lot of people underappreciate is how heavily Ubisoft is riding on esports for Rainbow Six Siege. They have been very aggressive ahead of launch of making it part of major events. Like it was at ESL in Cologne. They revealed the new spectator features, which are pretty decent. It's the kind of thing you need in a shooter because jumping between first-person characters is incomprehensible. So they want this to be a competitive game. They want this to live on forever. They want to add new characters and maps over time. They want it to be the Rainbow Six game that survives for the longest amount of time. And if it comes out and it sucks or is not quite as great as it could be, that is dead in the water.
Yep.
Competitively, it just doesn't exist.
Great point. I still want when we first heard about the plane map, in my head, I saw it as a mid-air plane and mid-air flight, and you could shoot windows doors out.
Oh my god! People just getting blown out,
and you could just suck dudes out if they walked sort of into the space.
Big fan.
Please make that as DLC.
Yeah.
The plane on the runway, just the not moving plane is cool. It's a good level.
It's fine, yeah.
But can we do this mid-flight,
or
please?
Oh my god, if it starts on the ground and then
takes
it's
off.
then all of a sudden when you're actually going up the air, the stuff starts falling and everything.
And then because the point of at least the main mode they've been showing is you get the hostage and get out. Get the hostage and
slap a
parachute out the plane. Boom! You can make it to the exit at whatever the front or back of the plane and leap out. Yes,
that's awesome.
How great a level would that be?
I love that.
I'm not a level designer. I don't know how these things work, but this sounds good.
I'll instantly tell you the reason that won't work is there'd be nowhere to spawn because everyone spawns outside.
Well, yeah, but you could spawn outside and then you could choose. Do you sky dive, paraglide down onto the back of the plane, the front of the plane, or the wings?
Pretty great.
And on the top level or down in the cargo. I'm telling you, it could work, Mitch.
Would love it.
I see it. I'm not a designer, but I
just make a video game out of that Bane scene in The Dark Knight Rises.
Boom. That was my Bane impression.
The fire rises.
Not great.
We don't know.
I've come to get the hot.
What?
I've come for the hostage.
What do you want? Just take the mask off and tell me what you're looking for. We might even have someone back here that you can just take.
You're a walking drive-through window. Stop it.